Good evening. It's Dr. Patmos. It is very late at night here on October 5th, and I've been thinking a lot about a Substack article that Dr. Robert Malone posted yesterday or the day before, and I want to share some thoughts about it. For those of you who are interested in this topic, it's in the text below. Anyhow, here's the issue. At the CDC meeting, ACIP meeting, a couple of weeks ago, Dr. Malone had a very interesting verbal exchange with a representative from Pfizer, in which he brought up the issue of biodistribution of the COVID or mRNA vaccine. And he questioned the Pfizer representative how they tested for it. And they replied that they use this standard assay called the luciferase gene reporter assay. And then Malone let it be known that he invented that assay. He didn't, but he said that he did, and that he knows more about it than anybody because, that's what he says, and that it's not the best way to determine this, that there's other studies that they should have done, and that he was stunned and shocked that they didn't do this, implying some nefarious intent on their part. The Pfizer representative then said that they acted in concert with FDA, and then he goes on to say that that's terrible, that they acted in concert or collaboration with the FDA, that pharma and the FDA were somehow in cahoots together, and that this whole issue of whether or not the vaccine stays in the arm or does it go into the body is some big controversy, some big lie that was pushed on the American people to force this vaccine on people, that it doesn't just stay in the arm and that it goes throughout the body. And he goes on to imply that it was Pfizer who claimed that the biodistribution it doesn't go throughout the body. So I had to ask the question, where did the idea come from that the vaccine stays only in the arm? CDC doesn't say that. FDA never said that. Pfizer didn't say that. So who did? Well, it turns out there were 3 incidents where some doctors at a couple of hospitals, completely unrelated to the manufacture or regulatory approval or development of the vaccine. These are just some physicians who were speculating and speaking in general terms about vaccines, saying that vaccines usually stay in the arm where you give the vaccine. And, generally and mostly was kind of what they were saying. No one in any official capacity ever said that this vaccine only stays in the arm, and that the fact that some of the vaccine can appear transiently in the liver or spleen or lymph nodes is some big controversy. No one ever said that. Malone is making an issue out of something that doesn't exist. So the question is, this vaccine, where does it go when it's injected? Well, of course, it's got to go somewhere. It's not just going to stay in the muscle. You're not going to get any vigorous immune response if the vaccine doesn't get into your immune system. It obviously has to get into regional lymph nodes, and it is not at all surprising or unexpected that it would get into the other lymph nodes in the body and spleen and liver and so forth. And the biodistribution studies that have been done show that it does go throughout the body, and it's transient and then goes away in short order, which is exactly what you would expect it to do. It's exactly what you would want it to do. I can't see the problem here. He's creating a problem that really isn't a problem, and then implying that Pfizer did this with some nefarious intent. Well, it certainly is clear that the regulatory approval process of this vaccine was pushed. That was what President Trump wanted. He was the one who pushed in Operation Warp Speed that this vaccine be developed as quickly as possible and approved as quickly as possible. And in fact, it was the Republican-led congressional committee that concluded that the Operation Warp Speed was a major accomplishment and a wonderful success, and quote unquote undoubtedly saved millions of lives. So here we are now with Dr. Malone basically attacking the Pfizer people at the CDC ACIP meeting over how they did these biodistribution studies and implying that they didn't do a very good job, and then castigating them for collaborating with FDA. And of course, then he had to claim that he invented the luciferase reporter gene vaccine thing that was talked about. My research shows that he did not invent it. Of course, he claims he invented other things too, like the vaccine, which he did not. So in any case, this is much ado about nothing. So whether the vaccine, so first of all, nobody claimed it stays only in the arm, other than some people who have really no idea. They were just speculating in general terms. Number two, whether it stays in the arm or not is really clinically insignificant. You would want it to go beyond the arm. You would want the vaccine to go into the lymphatic system, to the lymph system, to stimulate the immune response. So, and then finally, it's of no clinical significance. The vaccine is extraordinarily safe. The vaccine is very short-lived. The spike protein that it develops is a short-lived thing, goes away quite quickly. If you fear the spike, you should fear the virus. You're going to get logarithmically more spike protein from the virus than you do from the vaccine. So this is all much ado about nothing. What we have here is Dr. Malone creating an issue, inventing a controversy and fueling a controversy, a conspiracy theory that's of no clinical significance. So I don't understand what the point is. I mean, we had a disease that killed millions of people around the world. We developed a vaccine that produces like 90 to 95% protection from death and severe disease. That's miraculous. It does it with an extraordinary degree of safety. All of this other stuff is just an invention. It's a creation from his mind, and with he's got a lot of technical knowledge and a very prodigious technical vocabulary in these areas, and it's very easy for him to sound smart and smarter than everybody else in the room, and to overwhelm everybody else. But I have a master's degree in biochemistry too, and I'm not overwhelmed by it. And what I can tell you is that as a clinician, this is a red herring. This whole issue of staying in the arm or not, it's clinically irrelevant. It makes no difference. As a doctor, I would want this vaccine to get into the immune system, to stimulate the immune system as much as possible, to produce antibodies and to produce memory lymphocytes so that it will protect me from severe disease and death. So much ado about nothing. This whole biodistribution thing is it's a red herring. Don't pay any attention to it. It's just, Malone it's just another. I've got a new word. It's called melanisms. Melanisms are exaggerations and things that you're claiming to be significant when they're not. So it's just another melanism. Have a great evening.